WLN cataloging workshops. Each module in the workshop is designed to cover a specific topic. Today's topic is the introduction to the WLN Bibliographic and System Standards. I will briefly cover some of the three areas in the standards and will define some of the terms and why the standards have been chosen. Please make sure you have your copy of the WLN Bibliographic and System Standard sheet and the handout that accompanies this video. The first standard in the sections refers to the MARC system standards. The acronym MARC stands for Machine Readable Cataloging. MARC was a computer program that was designed in the 1960s by the Library of Congress in conjunction with several other large libraries. It was designed to allow libraries to store records in a computer as well as to share them electronically. There have been several versions of MARC over the years, but the most current is MARC 21, and it is used nationwide as well as internationally. The Library of Congress maintains the standards for MARC and has information and guidance on their website. The address for the Library of Congress MARC section can be found on the Library of Congress website. The basics will be discussed in another session. The next part of that topic includes the National Information Standards. The NISO and ANSO standards have been filled by Polaris. They are technical national and international standards that dictate the computer settings that Polaris has integrated into the software we use. So those we do not have to mess with. The second set of standards describes the source that we will use to define our cataloging. We have chosen to use the Anglo-American Cataloging Rules, or AACR2R, for our major rulebook for cataloging. This is the standard rulebook as used by librarians in the U.S., the United Kingdom, Canada, and other parts of the world. It is essentially the cataloger's Bible. It explains and defines how items are to be cataloged. It defines the information, such as what constitutes a title or a subtitle. It gives rules, guidance, and examples on capitalization, punctuation, and the order that information should appear in. It tells you what is important and what can be ignored in cataloging. Just as a bibliography guide will tell you how to order things in a bibliography, so the AACR2R does for cataloging. It covers all kinds of materials, from books, pamphlets, to video recordings and three-dimensional objects. It will tell you where you should get your information from as a primary source, either the title page or something on the object itself. This way, all catalogers can catalog the item in the same fashion. For example, it tells you what you should pick if the title inside the book is different from the title on the spine or the cover. Catalogers frequently consult it to make sure that they are following the rules for capitalization and punctuation, as well as abbreviations. There are many abbreviations in AACR2, including those for states. Once you have the information about the item that you want to catalog, you need to put it in the MARC format. This way it can be searched and stored displayed properly in Polaris. As I mentioned earlier, we are using MARC 21 as the standard for our cataloging to encode our information. In short, you have the AACR2R to tell you how to catalog and MARC 21 to tell you how to encode it. The third section on the standards concerns headings for subjects and authorities. Every library has a list of the terms that they use consistently for subject access, and the WLN has decided to use the database from the Library of Congress for our subject headings. The Library of Congress maintains a very long list, 5 volumes long, of subject headings that are approved for use. And as changes are made and terms are added to thesaurus, they are sent to us to be updated in our files in Polaris. We have included the Library of Congress headings for children, since some of the terms on that list are easier for children. This way, we can all use the same list to use the same words for the items so that they are all the same. For example, all romance novels can use the term love stories so that readers and patrons can find them. The Library of Congress also has an authority file. An authority file gives the official form of a name for a person. The authority file contains names of authors, subjects of books, musicians, actors, directors, anyone, real or fictional, who would have a book by or about them. They follow the rules that are set up in AACR2 on how these names should be formed. In this fashion, we can keep all of the books by a particular author under the official form of the name, so that when we search, we can find all of the books that belong to an author under that form of the name. If for some reason 2 or more people have the same name, there are additional rules and ways that they have to distinguish between those 2 individuals so that they can each be found in the catalog. As with the subject headings, new authorities are frequently added and updated in our Polaris system. Other lists do exist outside of the Library of Congress subject headings, but the Library of Congress subject headings are the ones most commonly used by libraries and by vendors, especially if you are ordering items through vendors and getting your cataloging from them. They are most likely using the Library of Congress subject headings already. They will need to be encoded in the MARC format, and that will be presented in another session. This concludes our session on the standards for the WLN agreement. If you have questions about any of the topics covered in today's session, please direct them to the WLN staff. Look forward to other topics being discussed on this video series. Thank you.